Welcome to HR Ninja Consulting Chronicles, where I cut through the noise and get to the heart of all things HR. So, whether you're an HR pro or someone that just wants to know about your HR rights in the workplace, I'm here to let you know. So, with that being said, I do have my first question that I'm going to answer, and I'm going to continue to do this going forward. Let's get to it. Okay, the first question is, as a long-standing employee of several years, I received a form to sign. It was a form stating that I would not sue, but instead go through a mediation process if I ever felt as if I was wrong as an employee. Is this legal? It says I will need to sign to remain employed. So this is definitely a great question to ask. I typically have this question asked for employers. So I work with a lot of startup companies, and employers say, well, we've been in business for a while. We want to put some extra measures in place. Can we put an arbitration in place? Now that we've already hired employees, they've been on board, can we actually put an arbitration agreement in place? The answer is yes. It's not prohibited in California to put an arbitration in place. California and other states, I know for a fact this is a question from somebody that's in California. So I mentioned California, but it is something that's not prohibited in California in multiple states. What is prohibited, though, is for an employer to make it mandatory for an employee to sign this in order to keep their employment. And so I'm going to go through some of the things that I actually shared with this person who asked me this question. Again, this is someone just asking as an employee if they had to actually sign their arbitration agreement, which that was the agreement they were talking about. So with that being said, so California, typically arbitration agreements are something that employers want to put in place because it's cheaper, it makes it easier, and it's a faster process for them to get through a mediation process. So there's a longer stance of processing that they have to do if someone goes through court, waiting for papers and things like that. They also can keep it very in-house and private. It's not to say that this is something to where an arbitrator is going to side for the employer, but employers typically like to have an arbitrator just so it basically stays in-house. It's a cheaper and faster process. So that's the short. I definitely can dig in arbitration a little bit more, but this is more so answering this employee's question about whether or not it's required. So again, in California, it's not required. California passed an assembly bill, AB 51, back in 2019. And what that said was employers are not able to hold employees to sign in this agreement in lieu of their employment, which means you can't say that if you don't sign this, then you are subject to being terminated. Okay, employees have the right to be able to go out and seek their own counsel, and they should be able to do that. And so employers, when you're putting this in place, keep that in mind that it should not be mandatory. It should be voluntary, okay? And employees, if you feel that an employer is forcing you to sign an arbitration agreement or at least, alluding to that, or there's any type of recourse to you not signing that, seek counsel. I'll tell you that, as well as employers, keeping in mind that your counsel, if you are asking some type of counsel, whether it's a lawyer or an HR consultant like myself about arbitration agreements, keep in mind that it should be voluntary. Okay? Thanks all. See you next time.